Hi, Greg. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Everything. Welcome to the Cozy Conversations DXB with Alondra Renee. Welcome. Yeah, you're
All right.
good. So, how's everything going with you?
Very interestingly, I've been pursuing a lot more entrepreneurial endeavors lately. So, been doing a lot of research and studying things and stuff like that. Of course, the auditions are coming back in.
Mm.
Um, Slower than I thought though. After the strike, I thought they were gonna come back roaring. But they haven't been that aggressive. At least in my world, they haven't been.
And we are speaking to Greg Weeks Jr. right now. Greg Weeks is an actor, lighting technician, and former college football player from Sarasota, Florida. He moved to Atlanta in 2011 in search of a more rewarding quality of life and career. And he's now been working in entertainment and film for over a decade. And I actually believe it's longer than that. I think it's well over a decade, right?
It's barely over. It's just over a decade. I've only been there since 2011 in Atlanta, so it might be max 13 years since I've been in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've only been
So,
there since. So it's
yeah,
just over a decade. It's just over a
just a
decade.
okay, okay. Okay, that's good. Um, we met in 2012, I believe.
Probably right after I got there, I kind of got straight to it because I knew that there was like an element of entertainment to the city, and there was just a lot of stuff going on. So I kind of knew what I was aiming for as soon as I got there. It was
Mhm.
modeling initially, but then I learned real quick that they like their models young and thin and tall, and I wasn't either. What shocked me was that it also applied to the boys as well.
Uh-huh.
And so I realized that went for the guys. I knew the girls needed to be tall, thin, young, but it also applies to the boys too. And I didn't realize that until I got to Atlanta, and it was like, oh yeah, you're a little too thick or whatever they would say. So
Oh, okay. Because I mean, you are kind of tall. I mean, you're 6 feet, right? You're six
yeah, but
feet.
I know they're like 6'2", 6'5". I was like, oh, they like them. So for a girl, I'm great height for female height, but for the guys, they like them even taller.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, but I modeled for almost 7 years in Atlanta. I started out in Atlanta and that was when they just started opening up the thick girls, like modeling for thicker
Mhm.
girls. So, the modeling sector has evolved since I
Yeah,
guess, yeah,
yeah.
since you first tried. Now, what inspired you? Because we met in acting classes. We were taking acting classes, and that's when
Mhm.
we met. And that was back in 2012 at Premier Actors Network,
Mhm.
Pan with Dwayne Boyd. Shout out to Dwayne Boyd. Since then, you've taken a lot of different courses and everything, and this has really been your career focus. Of course, you've evolved into other, areas like lighting and working in other positions within the film industry, because we often do that. I talk about cross training all the time, but like once you in, you in. But what inspired your acting career in the first place?
Um, I think it all started with Bad Boys way back in the day, the first one. Yeah, I think I kind of drew an affinity or a liking to seeing them run around shooting guns. I was like, I could do that. That looked kind of fun. And I'm like, I imagine it getting paid for this. I'm like, so shit, I think I could do that. And
Yeah.
so I think that's how it started. And then when I went to Indiana, the crazy thing about it is that I actually went to a VPA high school. So yeah, we were actually like state competitors almost every year. Visual Performing Arts
Yeah.
VPA.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have our own theater at my high school. My high school is in the hood, like it's in the disenfranchised area of the city. But man, we had people that would drive out to come to our school for VPA. Every day they drive a 2 hour round trip, to go to class.
Mm-hmm.
So I never even touched it because I would walk around. going to science class and stuff over near the theater classes, and I would always see the door open, probably ventilating, because it was like PE in there, but they didn't want to have the door closed because they had mirrors in there as well. So
Mm.
it would have fogged up the mirrors. So I would see into the room and see the guys, doing ballet with the shoes on and the tights, and I was like, yeah, I'll get in the theater. I'm good on that. So I never touched it. And then I'm like, that stage, I don't want to get on the stage and be yelling. I was like, I'm good. So I never touched it until I got to school. Then I got a full scholarship to play football in Indiana. And then like they was like, oh, you can kind of explore for the first 2 years and pick your major sophomore year, whatever. And I'm like, bet. So as I'm looking, I see an acting class as an elective. So I was like, without a doubt, I'm in there. So I jumped into it, and that's how it kind of started right then. And I started doing all the weird breathing exercises, pressing the tongue to the roof of the mouth and going, and
Uh-huh.
what the hell is this? So it was all weird. I was like, what the hell is, I'm so used to being like athletic and football. So that was a whole different thing. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of how it all started. And then all of life happens until like, I graduated 2000. I went home for like a year or two. And then I'm like, I need to get out of Sarasota. I went back home to Florida. And I went to Indiana first, and then I transferred to Stony Brook in Long Island, New York. And then I finished out at Stony Brook, and I went back to Florida. I was there for like 2 years. I was like, I got to get the hell out of here to feel stuck again. And I
Yeah.
was like, that was the whole point of me getting out of here, getting the scholarship, was to get out of here. And I ended up right back. And so that started to get to me, and I was thinking about everywhere except where I'm from or where I'm at every morning. I'm like, that's got to be a sign. Like, I need to get out of here. So
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to go see what the world had for me, and offer from my aunt when I was in college. And when I first got out, she was like, I don't know why you won't just come here to Atlanta. I don't know why you going back to Florida. And I didn't take it up or take it serious at first until I got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
That's
And
right.
it was an immediate reaction. And then hey, the offer still on the table. Boom, I'm out. And I threw everything I could fit in that Trailblazer. And I said, I wouldn't even get a bed because I wanted to sleep on the floor. I was inspired by the Tyler Perry story. The more I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, I started looking into things, and I was taking like low budget photo shoots and stuff to get ready for modeling, type of stuff back in Florida. And I was hearing about the Tyler Perry stories, success stories. I've always been like looking for inspiration. So that had me ready to load the truck up and just kind of hit it to Atlanta and see what that world had going on for me, and it's kind of how that went down.
Yeah. And not really worry about the material things attached to it. You just kind of do what you have to do in that young grind. I was talking about the young grind yesterday with my guest yesterday. It's different because you're not so attached to anything, and your mental focus is just getting to your next point. You know what I mean? From point A to point B, just to take that next step and what you have to do. And
Well,
so
I'll tell you real quick what allowed me to be that way was being adamant about not prematurely starting a family and making children, and I wasn't married, situated, and I refused to do that until I'm at a place where some people may judge you up, start to be concerned about you or whatever, but I feel like putting respect on things that are that serious, that are that important, that is a lifetime commitment, whether you want to admit it or like it or not. I took that very serious because I saw what it was like growing up with my parents and them struggling and not completing school and not doing certain things. And I never wanted to be or feel like that or have my offspring feel like that. So that's what allowed me to just pick up and go wherever I needed to go and keep life moving.
yeah, yeah. I consider it a blessing as well that I don't have any children either. Um And, even though I've been married before, I just never had children. So
Yeah,
I consider it to be a blessing at this point in life as well. Sometimes, because sometimes I won't, like sometimes, that motherly
absolutely.
thing kicks in but, at the end of the day, you take what you have as blessings when you see how your life plays out and you see what your goals were and that kind of thing. So I commend you on that because that's good. That's good that you
For
even
sure.
mentioned that, you know.
I
Um,
wanted to, that was important. I said that for sure, just in case this travels around the world.
yeah, of course, of course. I mean, it kind of already is, being that, I am based in Dubai and you are in America.
Dubai,
Yep. And
absolutely.
that was my point of even, starting this the cozy conversations, the podcast, because not to just continue my connections flowing with my American, people, it's also to expand their networks as well, and
For sure.
get you seen in other places that you possibly haven't, because I moved from China, and I have some people in China who, you know, are looking for to
You
keep
are
that amazing
everywhere.
connection. Yeah, I was in China for almost 5 years. So, and been in Dubai for eight
Yeah,
months now. So,
yeah,
I'm trying to, keep it all together and really, maintain my networks all over. Um,
yeah.
so you as an actor, Greg, you have been in different TV and film projects such as Revolution, The Have, The Haves and Have Nots, The Gifted, Star, The Watchmen, Holiday, Lovecraft Country. I love Lovecraft Country. Like, I, it was very intriguing.
People are
Um,
pissed that's not here anymore.
yeah, yeah, that was a good series. That was a good series. You've also been in Brothers. You've been in BMF. Um, Kingdom Business. You've done a lot of work as an actor. Now, what is the funnest person, or the person that you've really enjoyed working with on any one of these projects?
It's got to be Chris Pratt off the top of my mind. One other sidebar was really cool to see one of my classmates on set the same day, and we were one scene apart from each other from being in the same scene. So I'm standing there as they're wrapping up his scene, and we were one scene apart from being in the same scene with each other. I was like, damn. But that would have been crazy. That's gonna be like is to be in a scene with a teacher, with one of my instructors or one of my classmates. Actually, okay. And Dream was set as well. Her scene was a little bit further apart from mine, but and Dream was on set with me on Lovecraft Country.
That's so
Yeah,
fun. It's always fun running into actors you've taken courses with, right?
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
nice for me to see, even though I haven't been back in America in 5 years, it's nice for me
yeah.
to see, like, when people I was in class with working together, or they know, you know what I mean? Like, and you see them on TV and doing their thing. It's just beautiful to me. It's beautiful.
I'll say, Chris Pratt. This is
Hmm.
actually not a ploy to have you, be anything that you aren't. But if you're gonna be an actor, and you're gonna be in this industry, if you're gonna be doing anything in this industry, understand that it's extremely relationship based. And therefore people want to like you, and when people do like you, they will be prone to work with you, especially over and over and over. Most of these people that work together have worked together. You'll see Adam Sandler and his crew. You see Tyler Perry and his crew. Mr. Tyler Perry, excuse me. I always put respect on his name because mind blowing what he's done. But when you see these people work together, you see a lot of them work with the same people. You see the guy with Django, Jamie Foxx, and what is the producer's name? I always forget his name of Django.
Of Django.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
guy's got black hair, kind of tall. He's got a square jaw. I can't remember anyway. The guy who produced and directed Django.
Uh-huh.
I always forget his name, but he loves to work with the same people as well. But anyway, I say that to say that Chris Pratt was really enjoyable because of his personality was just so dope. And he was just so cool and so helpful and so he's a great leader. So when I was on the Tomorrow War with him, talking about Star Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, when I was on Tomorrow, it was really cool watching him work because he was a co-executive producer. That was his first time executive producing. And he wasn't the comedic relief that time. Also, that's something people might not have noticed because he's always using the comedic relief. But they used Sam Richardson, I think, to be the comedic relief. But Chris was so cool and such a leader because, and I don't know if he's like that all. I'm sure he is because you still got to set those scenes up the same way that you do in any other thing, especially in something as big as a Marvel project. You know, that felt like a Marvel project with the budget that we had, the explosions, the animals, the creatures, the guns, the wardrobe, 30 people being in the scene at one time. Like it was one of those ones, you know what I'm saying? So it was a big situation. And it was cool because we would stand around the TV and show TV episodics. You know, we pop, especially if you're in Tyler Perry world, Mr. Tyler Perry world. You know, you over there, it's they got those 3 cameras static, sitting, moving, they rotate. Everything's already pre-lit, you know what I'm saying? And you just move and pop, a small adjustment, shoot again, shoot. Regular TV world episodic is a little bit slower, but it's still, they don't have time. They on the clock, they're trying to get it going because a lot of them will start shooting while they'll start airing while they're still shooting. You know, so they'll air like 3-5 episodes and then they'll keep, you know, they'll just keep shooting and making them as it's going on. But in the feature film world, you might get an audition and not hear nothing about a callback for a month and a half, you know, because they got such a bigger budget, they got so much more time to do it. So we would set up shots for 35, 45 minutes with, you know, it's just walking through it, talking through it, or Chris Pratt and Chris McKay walking and talking through it, and we just all standing there just waiting on them to get done, you know. But I remember like when I was on set one day, and I was actually gripping on that show too, because I did crew and cast on that movie, on that big project, which is unheard of and probably made history with that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We came to set one day and we were all kind of waiting on, you know, Mr. Pratt to get done, Chris coming in. And then he comes in, he's kind of putting his little wardrobe on. And it's like, you know, it's super ghost quiet inside the stage. And everybody's like, you know, first team's on set, you know, so everybody's quiet. And then all of a sudden, we just talking to everybody in their corners doing their thing or whatever. And all you hear is, "What's up, motherfucker?" He like says, he says that out loud, just screams it on stage. Everybody busts out laughing. So he's just cool like that. He like keeping it light, you know what I'm saying, keeping it fun, but he's extremely professional. And you'll notice that the higher you get up in project budget wise, typically the higher the talent goes as well. So the crew is really talented, set deck, you know, the directors, everybody knows, you know, you'll hear the grips and you'll hear a lot of crew members that say, man, make the movie in the production office, shoot it on set. We shouldn't be out here planning the movie, the TV show. So yeah.
Very professional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, get it done. Yeah. So, okay, lighting. Now let's go into the lighting world. When did you start with lighting? When did you start with lighting?
I started with lighting probably a year or two after being exhausted from doing extra and background work. I was like, you know, another huge pointer. Anybody who's watching this, take out your pen for this one. Whenever you're doing something, you got to remember why you started. And so I would never let myself get carried away with extra work because that's not why I got in the business. I'm gonna say that again. I remembered why I got in the business, and I remembered not to let myself get carried away with extra work. And why I even started doing extra work was literally for set etiquette, to get introduced and possibly potentially do some networking. It actually worked out in a couple of ways. And I ended up meeting the president of the crew union, the local 479 back in Atlanta. And I also ended up meeting Will Packer on set because I was on the set of being an extra on Ride Along 1, I believe it was. Or I think it was Ride Along 1. And that's when I met Will Packer, super producer Will Packer, FAMU grad. Shout out to FAMU HBCUs.
Shout out to Will Packer.
Yeah, so that's the OG from back home. He's actually from my area. I heard somebody talking about it when I was an extra. He's from St. Petersburg. I'm from Sarasota, Florida.
Okay.
And I heard somebody talking about him, and they said, "Yeah, he's from St. Petersburg, Florida, St. Petersburg." They said, and I overheard it walking by, and I'm like, the only St. Pete I know is in Italy and France or something, so they got to be talking about Florida. So I start looking them up, and I'm seeing like FAMU, and I'm like, oh, he's from the Caribbean. So I'm like, I gotta go pull up on him. Now I have to say something. We're from the same area. But I knew him. I had heard of his name before, but I had no idea where. So ended up meeting him, and it was pretty cool because he was like, I told him where I was from and stuff like that, and he was like, "Oh, what's up, home team?" And I was like, "Bet." So that was a relief. Like, he was super chill, super cool, and a lot of that relatability comes from the confidence of becoming an expert at what you do. Because now you don't have to be on edge or worry about who else is good at what or way better than me at what they do. Once you get really good at what you do, that helps you relax because you put in so much time. You understand the craft. You're not skittish. You're not freaking out. You're composed, right? Your composure is everything. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And so being able to remember why you get into something when you go on to set, that's how I got into crew. So I wanted to start transitioning back out of extra work. And I'm like, all right, that's enough. Tired of being out here dusting up my suits on these dirt roads before Atlanta turned into Manhattan, New York, with all the buildings and skyscrapers. We used to have dirt parking lots downtown where we park and store all the extras in a tent over a dirt parking lot. So we're kicking up all this dust. You know what I'm saying?
I remember that. I remember,
CL casting and all these other Christopher Gray casting.
And sitting and waiting 12 and 13 hours to possibly get in the movie.
No matter how hot or cold it was. So that's what got me to transition out of that into like, all right, now it's time to drill a layer 2 or 10 deeper than where I am right now, because this is obviously not it. And so I'm still doing these classes. I'm still eavesdropping on every time Dwayne Boyd sends an email and say, oh, somebody just booked this role. Somebody just got an agent. Somebody just got whatever, right? What'd you call it? Not a manager. So he's dropping out. So I'm just looking at the email.
Or agent.
An agent. So then that's how I got my agent, was I was paying attention to those emails. And everybody he set up, I ain't saying to nobody. I'm just plotting on a million the whole time. And so that's what but it's, being an opportunist and being attentive, right, to your surroundings can really benefit you if you are aware and you constantly being strategic about it, and not desperate about it, but being strategic, being listening intently, paying attention, attention to detail specifically as well. That all that stuff adds up. And all of it helps you receive and be the sponge that you need to be in order to hear what you need to hear. And so that's how I ended up getting out of it, needing to drill down deeper. And then I also was sitting on set one day, and this is what really did it for me. Excuse me. I'm looking around, and I'm like seeing all these people moving on set one day, and it just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm like, all these folks grabbing stuff and talking on walkies and moving stuff and hanging stuff. And I'm like, what the hell are all these people doing? I'm looking around. It was the crew. And I was like, they probably getting paid too. And they're probably here every day. I'm gonna be here for 3 days doing this extra work. They probably gonna be here every day. So I started really doing the math. I really end up, no matter what I'm doing, I do the math in my head and I'm looking around, and that's what got me interested. I was like, I can get rid of this damn job over here and not have to leave and play hopscotch or be, risking my cash cow by taking extended lunch breaks, going to the city to do auditions at the courthouse department. I can stay in the industry, and then I can just, when I get off or whatever, and then when you get an increased or exponential amount of income or hourly rate doing that stuff, because they know they negotiated with the union, the SAG offices, and things of that nature, and the crews. The crew unions also negotiate certain rates so that you have a bigger window of downtime when you don't have work on, because it weighs a lot on the body doing crew. So that's kind of really when I started to get really interested, started to find out more about how to get in position to be crew as well as acting and cast.
Yeah, I find it very important to be multifaceted to stay within the industry, because you can get burnout by just doing one thing. And I don't mean burnout by overworking. I mean burnout with the weight of working. So So, I mean, because you may be busy for 1 month, then you may be off for 3 months, then you may be auditioning for a year before you land a role.
Absolutely.
So, I feel like it's very important to be multifaceted and multi-talented within the industry because that'll keep you working and seeing what other people are doing and seeing what positions are out there. Um, because otherwise, if you stayed in one lane, there's a lot that you wouldn't know. Which is why writers become directors become, executives, and actors become, and makeup artists. Because I started out in theater, but then I got into the film industry by being a makeup artist on set. And a movie that I
Hmm.
shot in LA, I was the makeup artist on set, and then something happened with an actor, and that's how I landed a speaking role in Love Chronicles 2 with Mike Epps and Vivica
Hmm.
Fox. And it was low budget, but it was one of my first films that I did.
Hmm.
But that's how I got into film. So to your point, it's very important to be multifaceted and really look into other positions to stay within the film, right?
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure. Being flexible, having a flexible income.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Um, so what can we look forward to from you? Because you've done quite a bit, and you're doing your lighting, and now you have gone into the entrepreneurship, right? So
Hmm.
what can we look forward to from you?
So I'm definitely laying from the crew work. It's a lot, and I love to where I just came from the gym. That's why I was sweating as we got out the shower. But I love to stay physically active, but that's a lot, and it's a lot of hours. I will admit that, but it's amazing pay when you're coming from working at the grocery store or working at Target. Or it's great pay, and it's exciting. It's a lot of cool crap on set. You get to see things you will never see this unlike anything you've ever seen before. The rigs, the explosions, the talent, right? The directors, the cadences, the sounds. It's just all different. And so it's really cool. And it's like, this is called work. It's like, all right, I'll do this
Yeah,
for it. You just
it's
got to
fun,
stay in
right?
there. But yeah, it's exciting. It's a lot of that. And that's why it's fun to be around it. But it definitely can be hard work. You can have some long hours. But I got away from the crew work. I started booking a lot. I got to a point, to your point, I got to a point where I was expecting to book almost everything I was reading. Even if they were, day player roles or a week here, a couple days, they were starting to fill in. You have those ebbs and flows, and that's how life is. So, just it's even like I say, it's even been slow picking back up since the strike for me. I just got my first avail check from Fight Night. The movie with Kevin Hart and Samuel Jackson and Don Cheadle and all those guys. TV show. I'm sorry, not a movie.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that's something that's gonna y'all look out for that Fight Night. If that's gonna be the actual name, it's called Fight Night. It's got Don Cheadle, like I say, Samuel Jackson, Kevin Hart. It's got some bangers, some heavy hitters in
Yeah.
there.
Heavy hitters.
Oh my goodness! So
And then it
and
has Greg Weeks.
and then well, potentially I got an availability check, so we'll see
Okay.
if I ended up hitting it. But that's the place um, for Black-owned businesses and traveling professionals. And I'm gonna basically create a hub for people to come and find cultural experiences at some point internationally, but we're gonna start locally, nationally at first in America, and then I plan to do it globally where we can. I got this ginormous, ever-growing vision in my mind about how I can connect the web and the web of the diaspora, the web of economics in America and abroad, and people are able to travel, potentially book lodging, book events. They can find their events, they can find somewhere to stay, as well as have like a community or communal portion to it as well, like a LinkedIn. So you have this really professional and or fun environment where people can come and they know where or even municipalities can come to find qualified, really skilled Black-owned businesses and contractors and things of that nature. So that's what I'm working on right now. And I'm gonna have an app for them as well, so we can have it wherever we go to be geo navigated, so you can see exactly if you're 10 feet away or 10 miles away from the next Black-owned business. Probably have some corporate sponsors and some big names like that. So that's what I'm working on right now. I just kind of released that. I never really told nobody publicly about it, but that's what I'm working on.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, so now this is your edge to go ahead and finish it because now you've already said it to the world. So,
Yeah.
so
It's happening. Yeah, I'm
okay,
finished. I'm gonna get it.
good,
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
good. Okay, so now it is game time. Okay.
Okay.
So we have
All
to
right.
play a game. We only have 8 minutes left. So it's called finish the phrase, right? And to give you an idea of what it is I will give you a word or two, and you
Okay.
have to create the phrase in your mind, whatever comes up first. There's no right or wrong answer. For example, I can say friend. You can say friends are for life. Good friends are hard to find. Friends are important. Friends are like family. I enjoy being with my friends. It could be anything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give you the word, and you give the phrase, and you can expand on anything you want. Okay, it's up to you.
Okay.
So you have 10 words. Okay, first word,
Okay.
live.
Um, live like you might not see tomorrow. Do I need to expound, or just can I
You
just give the
don't have
phrase?
to. It's up to you. It's
Okay.
completely up to you. Next word, serve.
Um, serve. Mm, be a servant. Serve people and serve your situations. You have to be a vessel. And when you learn how to be a vessel, you'll be helpful to people and situations. And then again, people will like to have you around, because if you're in everything for yourself and only want to receive things from situations, then you're not serving the people and the situations that you're involved in. So definitely serve people and situations.
That's good. That's real good. Spend.
Um, spend your time wisely and your resources, both of them, because they are, again, ebbs and flows.
Okay. Maintain.
Maintain your health mentally, physically, spiritually, and socially. Just maintain your health. Like, put yourself in situations um, that you can have some influence on, if not control over, and just be aware and of what people show you or how they treat you or how they handle you. And if you see something that makes you uncomfortable, understand that you do indeed have a choice to stay in that situation or to remove yourself from it. And that might not mean in that moment. That might mean as soon as you notice, start plotting on making an adjustment. This ain't gonna be the place for me. And that might mean the next 7 months of job hunting, because I can't stay here no,
Yeah.
or whatever, right? Friendship, relationship, whatever it is like, this ain't it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Next word, finish.
Finish everything you start, unless it risks your health, mentally or physically. Finish it, because you create great habits when you finish. And the art of finishing is a lost art.
Mm,
It's the secret sauce to completion. Like, you can't complete nothing if you don't finish it. So when you make everything you do, you're building a habit, whether it's good or bad. So you got to be very mindful of quitting, because you start a habit of not finishing anything, and then you get known to be a quitter or somebody who's half ASS in everything.
no.
So you want to be a finisher for sure.
Okay. Next word, free.
Free. That's a good one. Nothing is free. There was an acronym in college they said called Ten Staffle.
Yeah.
Ten Staffle is, there's no such thing as a free lunch. You got to work for
It's
everything.
no such thing as a free lunch. That's good. Okay,
Ten
pass.
Staffle.
Pass.
Pass, PASS.
Yes.
Um, Sometimes you got to pass up on opportunities because all money ain't good money.
That's real good, Greg. That's good. Okay, next one. Move.
Um, Move to where the opportunity is for what you actually want to do.
Mm,
So wherever that infrastructure exists, if you trying to get into machine learning devices and applications and websites, and you want to get into internet and AI, and you want to go to Silicon Valley, you want to get out to San Francisco. If you want to be in entertainment, you need to get to LA, New York, or Atlanta. Wherever the infrastructure is for what you want to do, you need to be prepared to move there because it's going to get serious enough where they're going to want you in town. Phone trying to call out to some agents in LA. One of them actually picked the phone up. One of his first questions after I gave him my little spiel, he listened. First question was, "Where are you right now?" I said, "I'm in Atlanta." And before I could say, "But," he said, "I can't do anything for you. Thank you. Have a good day."
mm.
So you need to be very prepared to move and relocate to wherever the money resides, where the money resides.
Okay, that's good. Okay, build.
Build the life you want. If you, when I was taking real estate courses, I followed Jay Morris, and he got into some things. But one thing he said that stuck out to me was, if you don't build it, it doesn't exist. If I don't build this app, it won't exist. No matter how tired I get, no matter how much I might want to cry, much I want to whine and complain that I ain't getting the resources or the money or whatever. If I do not build it, first of all, I'll never be able to sleep because I'll always regret the fact that I never did it. I learned that a long time ago. And for two, it won't exist. So build it or it won't exist.
Yeah. Last one, forget.
Mm. Forget what people think about you unless it's someone that you're trying to impress. Like you can't get caught up and don't get in your head about like when you go to the gym, you can't be in there trying to be cute. You can't be trying not to sweat. You can't be trying not to get your hair frizzy. When you go in there, you need to be ready to get dirty. When you go to the field to do some runs, you need to be ready to get dirty. If it, we play football, it gets nasty. We smell awful in football camp. It is.
Yeah, yeah, you do. You do. I
Hey, I can talk
agree.
about them. You can't. I can talk about them and
No,
us.
no,
She
no,
said, "Yeah,
it's
you
true.
do." No, we be awful. We be smelling muck.
Yes.
But yeah, but it's summertime. You sweat.
Yeah,
We're
it's
getting
all of that. You got to deal with all the elements and everything. Like
you got to get tackled. You got to fall on the ground. You're gonna get dirty. You got the plastic field. You got the rubber the pellets in your eye. You got to get dirty.
I just want to say I appreciate you for coming on. Thank you so much for your time.
Hello, and thank you for joining Cozy Conversations with Alondra Renee, and it will be more to come. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.